There is something strange about human nature, and that is that when life is going well, we often feel strong. We have plans, we have goals, we feel in control, and without even noticing it, we slowly begin relying more on ourselves. And then something happens. Then happens a loss, a failure, a disappointment, a closed door we desperately wanted opened, and the confidence we had suddenly starts to crack. Uh, the things we trusted no longer feel solid as they once did. And strangely, this is often where people begin searching God more seriously. Not because suffering is good, not because the pain is holy, yeah, but because difficult seasons have a way of showing us things that comfortable seasons often hide. Yeah, I think the one reason hard times can bring us closer to God is because comfort creates illusion of self-sufficiency. Yeah, like when everything is working, it's easy to think, I've got this, I'm fine, I can handle it. Yeah. And maybe we can handle many situations, many things. But life eventually reminds us that we are not in control of everything. Yeah, like we cannot control every outcome. We cannot prevent every disappointment. We cannot prevent every future event. And that's not weakness. That's reality. But the problem is that most of us don't think about the reality very much until life forces us to. Think about a boat in a harbor. Yeah? Everything looks stable, everything feels safe, but you don't really know how strong the boat is until until the storm comes. Yeah, and in many ways, people are similar. We don't know what we truly trust. Yeah, when life is easy. Yeah, do we trust our own abilities? Do we trust others' people approval? Do we trust success or comfort? And often we don't find out until something begins shaking those things. Yeah. And that's why difficult seasons can become very powerful. Not because pain itself change us, but it can reveal us. It can reveal what we have been building our lives on. Imagine the parable in Matthew 7 where Jesus explained to people that were building their houses on. One were building his house on the sand. That means the earthly things. Yeah, and what happened that his house falls because the earthly things will eventually pass. The comfort, the success, the others people approval, our abilities, these all things will pass. But the second guy, he built his house on the rock. Yeah, that means God. And when we have been building our lives on the God, on the rock, we can always have someone to grab. Our life will not collapse because God will never pass. And He will always be there for us. So it is good to build our lives on the God, on the rock. Yeah. And when we look at the saints, something interesting appears. Yeah, because they willingly choose certain form of discomfort, like That can seem strange when we look at that. Yeah, why would someone choose fasting? Why would someone spend time in silence? Why would someone wake up earlier to time with God? Yeah. Why would someone practice self-denial? And were they trying to make their life miserable? I don't think so. I think that they understood something that many of us forget, and that is that comfort is not the highest good. The God is the highest good. And sometimes the comfort can become so loud that we stop hearing anything else. Yeah, like when if every discomfort was removed, we become controlled by comfort. Yeah, just think about how quickly we reach for our phones when we are bored. Yeah, or how difficult the silence feels, or how difficult it's just to sit alone with our thoughts. And I think it is because many of us are so used to constant stimulation that the stillness feels difficult. But God is often found in that stillness. And God, maybe it's not the God isn't speaking, but maybe our lives are just too loud. And maybe this right here, the saints understand it. And there comes the things like prayer, fasting, silence, discipline, and this become interesting, yeah. Not because suffering is the goal. The goal is to never suffer. The goal is to have freedom, yeah, freedom from being controlled by every impulse, freedom from every distractions, and these things can help us. Yeah. Think about the hunger. Think about the hunger. Yeah. Uh, the point isn't the hunger. The point is realizing that food is not the center of life, and that is to that is from everything. Yeah. So, how can we start? I think when many people hear about saints, they immediately imagine some extreme sacrifices, like for example, sleeping on floor, living in caves, give away everything, and most of us don't need to start there. Maybe it starts much smaller. Yeah. Maybe it's putting the phone away for 30 minutes. Maybe it's spending 10 minutes in silence. Maybe it's fasting from something occasionally, or praying before making some decisions. Yeah, just the small things. But the small things often shape big things. So I don't think God wants us to suffer for the sake of suffering. I don't think that the suffering or the pain is automatically good. I don't think the difficult seasons are easy, but I think that difficult seasons can show us what comfortable seasons hide. Yeah. It can show us what we fear, what we trust, and what matters. And sometimes when everything feels uncertain, we can discover that God was never the one who moved. Yeah? We just became too loud to notice him. Yeah? And I think that's one reason why hard times so often can bring people closer to God.